Let's begin by connecting to our breath. One of the beautiful things about what we get to do when we gather here and when we practice is that we get to put on another mind. We get to try on these different perspectives. We can take the stance of breath. We can take the stance of body. We can take the stance of an individual, collective. And this path is infinitely interesting to me, at least. It's the practice of putting on these different perspectives. How do we see the world? How do we see our body? How do we view? As we connect to our breath, allow that breath to help us remember our interior perspective, the perspective of being in this body, having thoughts, feelings, conditions, right? Having the unique experiences afforded by this unique body. Those ahas, those waking up moments. And so our intention for today knowing that this practice works particularly well in that individual domain, that interiors, that our felt experience. What if we were to have the intention of letting novel experiences arise? It's kind of it's a careful, open door intention, where we're allowing for the possibility of novel experiences. We're opening the door and we're letting these contained moments of practice be a possible ground for waking up. You know, those instances where we go, oh, a new connection. Something that has never made sense like this has suddenly makes sense in a whole new way. So I offer that as our intention. It's a careful opening up of the door, and may novelty enter in. Now, how we do that as a technique, as a body, as a breathing body, is going to be a little bit of your creative gesturing. How do we take the perspective and the stance of something new might occur and an entirely new view comes into play? How do we take that stance? A Buddhist called it beginner mind. Some of our poets call it having the mind of a child. I'll suggest it may work by coming back to present moment. What do we sense right here, right now? So let's play. So how do we put on this child's mind, this beginner mind, in as many moments as possible? If you need to change your seated position, now's a good time. I'm moving to a cross-legged position. And we'll be working with rounds of Uddiyana. Welcome all. Welcome in. Welcome back. All right. So the hold will be very brief. Let's go feet active. You may use your fingertips on the ground beside you. Inhale. Breathing into the pelvis. Expanding the low ribs. Lifting the chest bones. Keeping the neck and the throat soft, open. And straight away we'll move the hands in front of the legs. Keeping the feet active, swiftly exhale everything out. Now remain empty of breath. Permit the chin to relax down so that throat and vocal structure can remain relaxed. And draw belly in, back, up, using hands, pulling, lengthening the chest away from the pelvis, gliding the shoulders away from the neck and the ears. Relaxing the belly prior to any gasping impulses, and we'll just come upright and take a few normalizing or recovery breaths. So how do we perceive novelty in Uddiyana? How do we see with new eyes and feel with like fresh senses? Let's do another round. Inhale from the ground through the pelvis, solar plexus, expanding the midribs, the upper ribs lift. Pause, keeping the feet active. We'll keep this hold quite short. Bring the hands in front of the legs. Swift, thorough exhalation out the mouth. Doesn't have to be forceful, but it can be quick. Now remain empty. We can keep the feet active and draw the belly in. We're drawing really from the perineum, so it's much lower than the belly. Feeling where the sit bones, the genitals, the perineum. So there's musculature. Right? Drawing in. Up, meaning away from the pelvic floor and toward the shoulder blades. And now sensing. Relax belly. When you need a breath, we'll come upright. And before we do this final round, I'll just offer a koan, kind of a way of performing an inquiry that intrinsically involves your whole body. So How do we see with fresh eyes? How do we allow for novelty entering into our practice? And one of the offerings that was given to me is, can there be feeling, sensing, listening without opinion? So here we go. Here's our final round. Can I sense without categorization, without opining, without labeling? Deep inhalation. Without correcting, without fixing, without editing. Bring the hands forward, swift, thorough exhalation. I remain empty. And here we go, we draw the belly in. Can I feel that without opinion? Without categorization, without label? Can I feel without opinion? Without needing to twist it out or turn it out or fix it differently. We release the belly, come upright. Resume your deep Ujjayi breath. And we'll separate the legs for side bend and straddle. Okay. So you may have to turn to be on the length of your mat. Set the right hand down along the inside of your right leg. Spreading the left hand, inhale, raise that arm, exhaling, reach your left hand away from left sit bone. And delivering breath into that left side, sacrum, waist, hip bone. Yeah, there you go. So there's some anatomical correlates that support this inquiry, that support our intention today. Softening in the jaw, in the ear, and around the vocal structure. This is something we've been doing for a few days now. And so often there's a strong conditioned response to when we want to remain fixed as we enact that through our jaw anatomy. We clamp down, we fix our bodily state in place. Fix it, right? We grasp. And we can feel those grasps sometimes as tension, sometimes as literal like toe grasps, finger grasps. But when I'm fixed in a particular opinion or view, incoming novelty doesn't quite have the same opportunity. Okay. We'll set the left hand down. Inhale, press, walk your way over to the other side. So we'll place left arm along the inside of the leg. Inhale, raise the right arm, spreading the right hand bones. Exhaling, reaching somewhere out over your left leg. The shape of our breath helps conduct a certain breadth of view, a certain depth of insight. So just by changing the quality and the shape of our breath, can help open up our system to receive novelty, to receive influence. So feel the shape of your breath with your body. Does it feel compartmentalized, like it's relegated to a certain area of your body? Does it feel larger than your body, your skin, your skin envelope? And I'll add this in because this is I haven't really mentioned this. Breathing and feeling the shape of your breath. Are you using your breath like a smoke screen, pushing information out and away, or are you breathing to bring information back and into circulation? Occasionally I'll witness a kind of a blotting out function of the breath. So you can look into that and inquire, is that what I'm doing? All right, let's inhale, bring the right hand down, walk your torso upright. Use the hands, help the legs together. Lie on back. We're working elbow to knee to start. The version will work today, Brolga, or it looks like tree pose lying on our back. This version is, recall, placing foot on inner leg, and we'll be engaging and reaching. So I'll talk us through that. We'll begin with the hands behind the head and the feet off the ground or on wall for support if someone's using support. Inhale, head and shoulders off ground. Exhaling, curling tailbone, reach that left leg out. With your right hand, scoop up the right foot. Assist it to your inner left thigh. And as you press that inner thigh into the foot, just orient your left toes to point as if straight ahead, or pull low belly down. Inhale and let that pressure off. Let the ankle go. Keep the shoulders up. Curl tailbone, exhale the right leg out. Scoop up your left foot with your left hand. Plant it. And I'll press inner right leg into the foot and reach through the ball of the right foot. Keep that right side of your back on the ground. So don't roll off to the left. Just keep it planted. Inhale, let that pressure up. Keep the feet up. Keep the shoulders up. Curl tailbone, exhale, left leg reaches, right foot plant. Plant and press. Press and reach. Feel from moving that left thigh bone softly away from the pelvis. Keeping the pelvis on the ground will help you feel that. Pull low belly down. Inhale, let that up. Keeping the shoulders up, curl tailbone, exhale, right leg reaches, left foot plants. Press the right leg into the foot. Reach outward, keep right half of back on the ground. Pull low belly down. Inhale, bend, let up. Let's do 2 more on each side and continue that at your pace. And have a little look. Mm-hmm. There's a slight tendency for the straightened leg to kind of roll to the outside or roll outward. So you have to use your inner leg to almost roll it back inwardly. Yes, reach all the way to the ball of the right foot, Brett. There you go. So it's almost like I'm a little reluctant to say a turn, but it is a kind of a rotation, a little bit of a turning move. But if you get that inner leg to wake up, if you get a little more pressure, a little more sensation, congratulations, right? Because part of the beauty of this practice is it helps us receive the feelings as information. If we're able to let information in, it's quite possible novelty, influence enters our system, our view, our perspective. All right, and do one more with the roll gate opener. So recall, gate opener is a 2-part abdominal. Part 1 is roll between the legs and the legs squeeze. And part 2 is roll between the legs move apart. I'll talk us through. So let's begin roll between legs skyward. Inhale. You feel your breath in the low back, in the pelvis. Pausing, so just momentarily holding the breath, squeeze with both inner legs onto that roll. Curl tailbone, exhale, float the head and the shoulder blades off the ground. As you maintain that inner leg involvement right up through the inner knee, right up through the inner arches, pull low belly down. Place your left hand on the roll. Inhale, smoothly open apart the legs into straddle. Exhale. Exhaling. If we're exhaling with those low belly muscles, there's a chance we feel the tip of the tailbone shift. Press out through strong legs, moving the legs as if away from the pelvis. Pull low belly down. Inhale, draw the legs upward, set the head down. Holding momentarily, squeezing, adding a little zest to our inner leg area, curl tailbone. Exhale, float the head and the shoulder blades up. So this sensation, these feelings in the legs, can that simply be information? Pull low belly down. Place your right hand on the roll. Inhale, straddle legs apart. Exhaling. Tailbone curls. Outreach of legs. So can I feel the pelvis without opining? Without trying to fix the pelvis. We're getting right down to the informational level. Pull low belly down. Raw data. Inhale, bring those legs together, set the head down. Letting that breath spread down into the sacrum. Pause, squeeze, turning on those inner legs. Sensations and feelings, it's information. Curl tailbone. Exhale, float head and shoulders off the ground. Using the squeeze and is it possible to accept that information? Ooh, maybe there's a little quiver. Pull low belly down. Take your left hand, put it on the roll. Inhale. Shoulders stay up as legs move smoothly apart. Exhale. How would I receive that information, that sensation? Pull low belly down. Inhale, bring legs together. There's just one more pair here. Holding full with breath. Engage those inner legs. Keep on squeezing. Curl tailbone. Exhale, head, shoulders off ground. Pull low belly down. And hand to roll. Inhale, legs apart. Exhale. Tailbone shifts. Strong legs reach out. Feet active. Pull low belly down. And then inhale as you set the head down, bring those legs back together. Exhale, set feet down. And yes, we may remove that roll. Please set that off to the side. And then turn onto a side. And we'll press into elbows and knees, and we'll prepare for ye old dolphin. Before we can even form ideas and beliefs, there's raw sensation. So we're just remembering how to get that raw feeling information, right? The way we did when we were unconditioned infants, right? How do I feel in and in and in, right? To the raw, undressed, experiential information. Where a quiver is simply a quiver. A quiver didn't mean failure or a certain belief about one's body. A quiver is a quiver. Heat is heat. Pressure is pressure. Right? So with our elbows under shoulders, our forearms out in front, our knees under hips, with toes curled under, inhale into back of heart. And when our neck feels relaxed, exhale the knees off ground. This is dolphin. Feel the shape of your breath. One of the ways we can play with how we allow our system to be open to different kinds of information is changing the shape of our breath, changing the quality of our breath. So we can have a bit of active play, right? Does your breath feel kind of relegated to one area of your body? We're going to make one move, and that's stepping the toes about maybe 1.5 inches closer to the elbows. So you just make that tiny step. And when you make that forward step, get ready to press even more through those forearms. So you're lifting the hips away from your shoulders. There you go. That's it. That's it, Megan. And now in these final 2, 3 deep breaths, can you sense the shape of your breath? Does it feel like the breath is inside the skin envelope of your body, or is it larger than the skin envelope of your body? There's not a wrong answer. I just putting out some possible ways to shift and fluidize our perspective. And then gently we'll set the knees down. And backing up a little bit. So I'm going to raise the torso up. You adjust if you need to be seated differently with regards to your knees or your toes. But here, while we can touch the ground, I'm going to turn the fingertips toward our pelvis and just place the finger pads on the ground. Just the finger pads. So the palm of my hand is up. It's off the ground. Now, while you're discovering a little stretch sensation through the hands or maybe the wrists, maybe the forearms, connect to breath. Kind of moving the palm bones, the wrist bones, away from the finger bones. Now, if the palms easily melt to the floor, that's a fine place. And when we release, we're going to set up with wall, working some piking down in straddle. I'm going to do my best to show you. My theater set here is maybe a little short. And the other option will be downward dog on the wall, reaching one leg away from the wall. So let me just remind you those two moves. You can select which you'll like to do. So working the piking down presumes that you're kicking up into handstand. If you're kicking up into handstand, I take just 1 inch or 2 from the wall. Go ahead and make your kick. Place your butt on the wall. You have to be a little careful here. And then work your piking down I always find straddle is an easier first way to practice piking down. So straddle and then pull thighs toward ribs. So you're really slowing your descent as best as you can. If we cannot presume a kicking up today, what we can do is work downward dog, up the wall, reaching one leg away. So this puts us into a split stance. And there's a tiny, tiny detail which can facilitate the sparks, the beginning sparks of piking, but only if your wall foot feels stuck sufficiently to the wall. And that's pull the wall foot down. Don't move it, but pull down on the wall. And that way you can facilitate, it's just the sparks, just the beginning sparks of piking. Okay, so let's take a few moments, downward dog on the wall, one leg away at a time, or we're practicing piking down. So to get started piking down, give yourself 1 to 2 inches space from the wall, fingertips. Kick up, straddle, put your butt on the wall. So go ahead and sit on the wall, Susan. Like actually sit butt on wall. And what that butt on wall will allow you to do, straddlers, is to keep scooching the butt up. That is a really, really important piece to any piking work, is to feel that the butt can lengthen away from the head. That's it. That's it, Susan. The more I straddle my legs away from the wall, the more I lean into the wall. So my butt sits on the wall, and then my low back leans toward the wall, and then my mid back leans in and toward the wall. So you got to get that head, that noggin out of the way for sure. Yeah. I'll just give you another moment to finish up the other side or the. Okay. Take one more pass it straddle. Oops. Oh, yeah. There you go, Brett. You gotta get a jump up there, Brett. It's like boink right up there. Yeah. If you're wrapping up, let's stand at the top of our mat. Inhale, reach the arms overhead, spreading the hand bones. Exhale, fold forward, softening neck. Inhale the left foot back. We're setting up for arrow lunge. Place knee down, place top of left foot down, and then exhaling, push down through that top of left foot. Now, as long as there's zero pain, the knee will lift off the ground. If there's pain, simply leave knee down. Connect to breath. Gently set knee down. Twisting lunge. Pardon me, easy twisting lunge. Inhale, we'll back the hips up. May have to walk that right foot back. Easy twisting lunge, setting left hand down, drawing the right arm skyward. Boredom is a quality of, well, it's an emotion, apathy, boredom. These are emotions that can obfuscate novelty. They make it very challenging for us to be open to influence, to see the novelty emerging in an experience. So being able to discriminate or note when we're engaging with or feeling boredom, apathy, that's so important. Because not only can I not perceive novelty, I can't contribute novelty. I can't bring my own brilliance to the fore if I'm engaged with apathy and boredom. Inhale, bring the right hand down to the ground. Exhale, right foot back. Let's lower all the way down to ground, belly to earth. We'll work cobra. Inhale. Pull chest bones forward. Reach leg bones back. Exhale, lower, downward dog. Arrow lunge, setting up the other side. Inhale, left foot forward. So we place the right knee down, we place the top of the right foot down. Exhaling, press downward, press down through top of right foot. Zero pain, then the knee may lift off the ground. So again, how are the ways that I might fix my view or fix my experience? Well, I can narrow my vision. I can literally tighten the muscles around my eyes so that my vision kind of burrows laser-like down into the ground in front of me, right? That would be one way to facilitate fixity. How else can I fix my experience to gate it? I can harden my jaw muscles. You kind of bite, clench, dampen down on the sensitivity of the lips and the tongue and the mouth. That's one way to engage fixity. Yeah, hands up or hands down is fine. Now, inhaling, let's set the right knee down. Easy twisting lunge. I bring my left foot onto my left knee. Right hand down, left arm up. I'm not suggesting we engage in these fi- fixing our view, but these would be the strategies that a body could easily use. And we may even feel them occur. Ultimately, if we can notice them, then you have choice. That's the beautiful thing. If I can just point out a few things here and there, like, ooh, this is how I can feel and know with my body that I might be engaging in a kind of a clamping down of my view, a reduction of novelty. If I can notice that in my body, then I have a choice. Maybe I can do something else. Maybe I change the shape of my breath. Maybe I soften my eyes and re-expand my vision. Inhale, bring the left hand down to the ground. Exhaling, chaturanga, we'll step left foot back and lower, pulling the shoulders away from the neck. Let's work cobra. Reach both legs straight back. Inhale, belly into the earth. Chest bones move forward. Exhale, lower down, downward dog. Chest opener in warrior two. Inhale, right foot forward. The chest opener I propose is interlacing hands behind back. Exhaling, sending knuckles and even tailbone downward. Now pressing feet into the earth. Inhale, feel that uplifting breath under the chest, under the heart. So how do you expand vision again? How do you soften and ready your body for receiving novelty, more information, more sensation, more fullness, more energy? Release the hands. Inhale them out to the sides. Warrior two. Exhaling, permit the shoulders to glide down. Spread the heel of the palms. Feel the base of the brain, the base of the skull area, right where the skull meets the neck bones. Can you contribute a cloud-like float feel to that base of skull area? Interlock warrior. Inhale, we'll bring that right armpit down next to thigh. Exhaling, left hand behind back. So we're getting the hands to connect, either hand to hand or hands to prop. And is it possible to sense, to receive the pressure and the heat and the stretch, all this information without opinion? Without necessarily going, ooh, I like that, or ooh, I don't like that. Dial that down, dial this up. Release. Now, when we set the left knee down, I'll recommend a tiny bit of padding. Left knee gets a little dose of padding. I'll work heel to butt. Now, if you have any knee issues, for today, if you want to omit the foot grab and just work lunge, perfectly fine. That'll work great. Okay. So the knee is padded. The left hand has the left foot heel to butt lunge. Can you feel, notice, did your vision change as you grabbed that foot, as those sensations started to kind of enter your recognition? Did your vision change? Did the shape of your breath change? There you go. By maintaining that softness and that fluency, what I feel, notice, is the exact same. I get to have an intimacy with the experience. Like I get to feel the things, the information, the feelings, the sensations with all of the intimacy. But when I remain soft, there's also this impersonal quality. It's not so personal anymore. It's almost like the contractions make it real personal. Release. Set that left foot down. Inhale, back the hips over that left knee for twisting lunge. So I've reset my right foot. Exhale, left elbow over right thigh. Twist lunge. I'll say it again because you don't have to kind of go backward in memory here. Connect to breath. If you can keep that supple, most open system, open to novelty environment. My vision soft, my jaw relaxed, my belly soft, the shape of my breath full, embodied. I get to have intimacy with the experience, but it's less personal. It's impersonal. And release. We inhale and unwind. We'll set the hands down. Now, exhaling, we'll step back for chaturanga. And here you can decide if your shoulders feel adequately warmed, then inhale, upward dog. If your shoulders or your wrists are giving you a little bother, choose cobra. Exhaling, downward dog. So we'll do that chest opener on the other side. Inhale, left foot forward, warrior two. So the stance is warrior two. We'll use our interlaced hands behind back. Reaching knuckles down. How you practice. How do you anatomically, physiologically, energetically posture? How do you breathe? How do you enact an open system, unopinionated listening? Readying the body for the emergence of possible novelty. How do you do that? And release the hands. Warrior two. Inhale, arms out to the sides. Exhaling, spread the heels of palms. Send every fingertip out away from wrist, opening up the hands. Right? These hands express so well the workings of the mind. So we get a little externalized mind right here in our two hands. And maybe we just play with that. What novel thing can I feel in the hand? A very, safe area, I hope, to feel novelty. Interlock warrior. Inhaling, bring that left armpit next to the thigh, the right hand behind the back. Exhaling, connect hands. So I know we've been in a little bit of a stance, a few poses worth of stance. Is that amount of sensation all right? Is that permissible? Right. How can I feel that which might be going on in my leg? Maybe it's a little heat, maybe it's a little quiver. Can I feel heat as simply that, a sensation? Do I have to have an opinion about it? What if I could feel heat or quiver or fatigue? What if I could feel those sensations without injecting additional opinion or categorization? Release. Inhale. Let's set the hands down. A little extra padding for the right knee. Heel to butt lunge. Now, if you have any knee issues, you can just keep the foot down. We don't have to, bend deeply into a place that may contain some pain. If you can grab that right foot with the right hand, as we're moving in, just take careful note, your vision, your breath. Did you feel your vision narrow? Did you feel the shape of your breath cinch in? Did it expand? Did it change? I found a very cool correlation that as I become more okay with feeling sensations, the need for apathy and boredom seems to dissipate. All right, when we release, let's set that right foot down. Inhale, backing the hips up for twisting lunge, backing the left foot up. Exhale the right elbow over the left thigh. And here's what's beautiful in these moments of unopinionated sensing and listening. We temporarily absolve ourselves of needing to diagnose. What a gift. I don't have to diagnose my belly or diagnose a tightness or diagnose, like I don't have to play that role. I get to relax that role. And I get to just listen. Inhale, unwind. We'll go hands to ground. Exhaling the left foot back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. So if upward dog feels a little bit too much on your wrists or your back, you have options. And then exhaling, downward dog. So working a little head to ankle, inhale, step the right foot forward. And now with our head to ankle, I'm going to keep the hands on the inside of the foot. Just so you know, our next pose is going to be scissors. So why I'm mentioning that is you may not want to like try on the deepest flexible state here. You might think of this as a preparatory move for scissors. So with that in mind, my hands can be on the ground. I can start to reach or push the ground, raising the hips slightly. If it feels entirely right for your body, certainly you can kind of bring the right arm behind the right calf. And you can start to bring the right shoulder behind the calf or even the head behind the calf. I'm going to relax a little bit so that we can move out into scissors. So if I have my right arm adequately tucked under my right thigh, I can simply walk my right foot forward and forward. As I do, my hips, my weight descends downward downward. And then I get into this strange place where I'm not really supporting myself with my feet, and I'm not really supporting myself fully with my hands yet. This kind of in-between territory, this is kind of a nice place. If you're moving into scissors, tip my left hip toward my left elbow. I've left a lot of details out. There you go, Megan. That's it. That's cool. Yep. And I use my piking maneuvers. I'm pulling my right thigh toward my arm. That gives me a little float. It gives me a little whoop. Reaching out through my legs. It's a very asymmetrical pike, but I'm using those pike mechanics. Just the right side. Yep. Just give it another moment or so. Mm-hmm. There you go. There it is. There's. You can keep the left knee down. Exactly. Mm-hmm. All right. Nice, nice, nice. Now set those left toes down on the ground. If you're working on your motion, you're stepping back. You pull that right heel toward your butt. Press back into downward dog. So that head to ankle, inhale, left foot forward. So we can work this as a preparatory move. And that, you can place your hands down, and you don't have to necessarily go after a lot of stretch. If you feel pretty warm and you just want to start to dose in those deeper edges of the pose, please, As you decide to deepen into head to ankle, the next possible moves are bringing the left arm behind the left calf. Okay. And that starts to lead the left shoulder behind the left calf. And if you're just having a flexible chapter of your life, then the right hand grabbing the left ankle can provide further assistance in this kind of pulling action. But unopinionated listening, sensing without categorization, is that a possibility? All right. Now, we start to walk out into scissors. So we need to have the left arm tucked under the left thigh. As you walk your left foot forward, your body weight, your leg weight will start to descend atop your arms. You'll feel more and more weight on your left hand. And if that's all that your wrists can handle, a little bit of weight in the feet, a tiny bit of weight in the hands, then you can remain suspended in this not quite splits, not quite scissors territory. So if your wrist's sensitive, that in-between place is really nice. Still going further, want some scissors? You gotta tip the right hip onto your right elbow. And if you need to see that from another angle, I'm happy to. There it is. There it is. So the tipping part, if you were looking, Joy, is I turn my right hand out a little bit. And as I keep walking my left leg forward, I make a little swivel, almost like my hips are looking left. My hip, or my waist, is atop my right elbow. So let's see, yeah. So I go hip to elbow, right side. Yep. It's like your pelvis is going to look to the left. Keep walking that left foot forward. It'll feel like you're leaning, almost like you're going to put your right side down. You are. It's not just on your elbow. Yes. Yep. Curl those back toes under. You got it. Nice. You got that leg way up on that shoulder. All right. And then we'll set those right toes down. You pull that left heel back, and you may press back, downward dog. All right, pigeon. Inhale, right knee between hands. I'm going to move to my forearms. And I'm working this shin, just gradually moving the heel away from the groin. As that knee angle opens up closer to 90 degrees, it tends to accentuate or allow me to feel more sensation around the pelvis, around the hip. Feel the shape of your breath. Notice and feel your eye muscles, the vision field. Maybe your vision has slightly contracted having moved into pigeon. Maybe it got really blurry, like sometimes our vision goes a little blurry when we do that sweet little dissociative move where we kind of get a little daydreamy. Do that little dissociative daydreamy thing. Our vision can get really, really blurry. So just by noticing the visual field, the eye muscles, and the shape of your breath, you'll start to connect like, oh, that's a bodily state that encourages me to feel the information. Or that's a bodily state where I'm not letting anything new in. They're all very fascinating. Inhale, walk the hands under the shoulders. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhale, the left knee between the hands, pigeon. Inhaling. Let's walk those hands under our shoulders. And when we exhale into downward dog, let's pause for a moment. We'll work one final move on each side. All right. Now, sometimes, so you can have a seat, we're working elephant. And if you're feeling strong, you feel like you want to float, or gravity surf, you have the option of revisiting scissors. So let me show you these two poses, one transitioning into the other. So elephant is I start with my ground leg out in front of me. I create that arm and back of leg connection, just like we did head to ankle, scissors, right? And the elephant part is I push my butt up, and then I get my trunk out there. Okay. And you can play with moving, dragging, walking that trunk leg back. So you end up right back in scissors. We can work one, or we can work 1 and 2. So let's begin with the left leg out in front. I'll talk through just a few more details. I start by getting my right foot off the ground, my right arm against, this is the back of my right leg, arm to leg. Now I let my foot go, it stays there. It stays there because one, I'm kind of grabbing it. I'm actually kind of pinching my calf down, biting down on the arm. Okay? You can hold this. So this can be a nice preparatory option. Right? If you have any shoulder issues, you might want to support this foot up so it's not pulling on any separated shoulder or such. Okay. Or this might just be a really great stretch. Option 2 is place your hands shoulder width under the shoulders. Push. As you push, your butt will start to lift up. I always recommend bend that left leg first and then straighten it out and off the ground. There you go, breathing. Oh yeah, that breathing thing, that's cool, Megan, that's cool. Oh, the cramps got you. Man down. The old cramps. If you want to completely avoid that leg cramp, just keep the foot down. If you want to completely avoid the cramp that sometimes happens, push the butt up and just work on dragging that left leg back and back and back into scissors. You'll completely avoid that leg cramp. There you go. That's it, Joy. That's it. So you can do one pose. You can do 2 half poses. All right. And let's make sure we can do the other side. This will be our last side, our last one. Okay. Now, if your wrists are getting tired, remember, you don't have to keep putting weight on the wrists. If they're sensitive for whatever reason, right? We can work this part of elephant, that's left side now, where we get and keep that left leg atop our left arm. That'll be a very wrist-friendly, wrist-nice way to work. If there's no bother in the wrists, we set our hands down, inhaling, exhale, push. And I might just push right here. Remain breathing. Okay. Maybe I just start to drag my right leg between my hands. Yeah. All right. All right. So wrapping up, to help relieve the wrists from this. So whenever you're done, you can simply join us lying on back. I'm going to grab the edges of my feet in Baddha Konasana. Let me say that again. I place my feet in Baddha Konasana, and I'm interlacing my hands around the outer edges of my feet. Why? With my fingers interlaced and just the right amount of pull, I can create some wrist relief. Okay, so here is that another moment to play with feeling. Am I grasping the feet? If I'm grasping the feet, I've put tension in my palm, my wrist, my elbow joint, maybe even my neck and my shoulder joint. Or if I pull just right, as if elbows down, I can open up the wrists. I can actually feel my hand, my wrist, my finger joints as more fluid. So I can't tell you exactly how to do it, but what I can say is depending on how you grasp or how you open the hands in that interlace, how you pull and how the feet push, you can start to play with the grasping in the body and the ungrasping. You start to feel the relief in the wrists while you're getting a bonus lying stretch for the hips. And when you want to let that go, we'll set up for Shavasana. So lie on back. And even though we relinquish the technique of breathing, we can feel how the breath moves and courses throughout the body. And this simple little exercise of tracking our breath as if through permeable skin, permeable membrane of our skin, is a great perspective loosener. As we breathe in and through our field, our skin, as if permeable. We start to pass our feeling awareness in and through contractions. As they start to loosen. We start to discover our body as an open system. An ecosystem of influence. When you're ready, bend knees. Turn to a side